I would like to tell you, my brother.
That way, to Njoro. Come that time, when things had gone haywire, a neighbor whom I didn't expect to rise against me, rose against me, and I saw him carry bow and arrow to ambush us with a big outcry. I may tell you that I personally had not known of the some outcries of war. And to us, it was a big shock. There was never a time when I ever thought that I would ever sleep in the cold. I wasn't prepared.
But it's better to sleep in the cold than to be killed.
I've not seen death with your eyes.
Did you see some people being killed?
Here?
Yeah.
Obviously, yes. After the election, when Kibaki emerged the winner and this other one failed, that's when things worsened. There was never peace anymore. Does not believe that you are dead, not unless you use a bang on you.
In Kenya, ethnic competition is life.
Divide and rule. Those foundations were established by a colonial government.
The major tribe are the Kikuyus, the Luos, the Kalenjins.
Before the independence, the Luos and the Kikuyus were together.
But the colonial government tried very hard to separate them and to show them, you people are Luos, you people are Kikuyu.
You know, Kikuyus are very clever. They know things before us.
The Kikuyu are enterprising, they're industrious, that's for sure.
When it comes to markets and all this, the Kikuyus are best in.
They are better business people.
The Luos are, we can say, they're intellectual.
The Luos will spend quality time talking about politics.
The problem with the Kikuyus, they like money too much.
Kikuyus are very good in grabbing land.
They are thieves.
The Kikuyu are a bit aggressive.
Luos are brackets.
The Luo are flamboyant.
Likes power.
Very smart and own nothing.
Now, there's a complication here.
The Kalenjin, they're kind of quiet people.
They will fight to the hilt to protect their land.
We are calling them dogs.
Beggars.
Warlike.
Kalenjin would be told, but you don't need to study. You go home and run. Luo men are romantic.
These Luos don't need land. They are lazy.
Kikuyu ladies are believed to be beautiful.
If you want to test whether Kikuyu is dead, just drop a coin.
Land is the main issue.
The Kikuyus of Central Province and some parts of Rift Valley, they were agitating for independence to be given land because they had already been moved from their land, particularly when the white settlers came.
When Kenyatta became the president, most Kenyans felt very strongly that the best way to deal with the settlers was to chase them away, to give land freely back to the Africans.
Kenyatta said, no, nothing. There will be nothing for free. You have to buy.
Kikuyus, especially those who are working with the white settlers, they had already accepted capitalism system of management of their resources. Survival for the fittest.
Now, who buys and where does he get the money?
The others are waiting for the cake to be shared to them freely like manna from heaven.
Somebody might think that the government favored some people by giving them the land or giving them the loan to get the land or something.
I'm very much of a Riftvarian myself. And that's why merging with these other tribes to me is never difficult. My dad came here as far as 1957. I was a small baby. And I've grown here. And I've interacted with them here. That the life that we used to lead was so cordial. I think who are nearly over 80 years here.
Yeah.
They were here within the colonial times. They claim that they were brought up here, they were born here, brought up here, their parents have died here,
Yeah.
and now they are being asked to get back to Central Province. I'm the smallest in the academic cadre. My job in the Department of Agronomy is that of a junior technician. I assist my researchers. You actually not one that has to sit on the fence. You have leisure to have the hands-on activity with you. Let people know what 6 centimeters imply. It appears so lucky for somebody like Wainaina, who had been actually in an agricultural institution that used to train us in compost making. One does not actually just rely on the shop. You may rely on what is at hand in the village. These are my neighbors, this side. These are Kikuyus, that's why people are here together. That other side was meant for them. May I say I have a neighbor to me who is actually not of my own tribe. I'm a Kikuyu. He's a Kalenjin by tribe. They have their own brews that they undertake there. You're even forced to sip, just because to say that you are in a very good relationship. We had even gone as intermarrying. But after many years, I became a stranger to him.
Who is saying you are foreigners?
The Kalenjins claim that people are foreigners in their ancestral land. Historically, the way they put that's another way of their thought.
There is another view that actually the Kikuyus did not buy land, that they were actually given that land by Kenyatta, who was a Kikuyu himself. So that's another version.
The Kalenjins felt that this was their land, and because they were unfairly displaced, they needed to be resettled in the same land again. The elders in this particular part of Kenya, that's the kind of teaching that they pass from one generation to another, and it has gone on for over 50 years.
Irrespective of whether the land was given, whether the land was bought, the reality of the matter is that we have the Kikuyus settled in Rift Valley and in large numbers.
When I was in class 8, I would put some water on a bale, then you put your legs inside, then you read so that this water can cool your legs so that you don't slip over. Then you read up to around midnight or past even if you have an exam. So simply to get to university, it is a very hard task in Kenya. I come from Rift Valley, from Kalenjin community. Land is almost everything in our community. We border the multinational tea companies in Kericho. I come from a family of 8. As dictated by the clan's code of conduct, if you are a father, you're supposed to divide the piece of land that you have equally to your sons. My grandfather, for that case, he had 25 acres and 5 sons. My father was given 5 acres, and in our family we are 5 sons. So each and every one of us expect to get 1 acre. The land is simply getting smaller. The best thing to do is for us to work around our books, be smart, and get some good jobs. For somebody to pursue up to university education, you must have toiled and moiled. One of our sisters, she was married off, but the dowry was used to finance my elder brother. We are the first in our family and the immediate extended family to pursue higher education through to the university.
In the 60s, you could not speak without looking behind who is listening.
When I was a student in 1981-82, the government of the day through Parliament, declared that it would pass a bill making Kenya a one-party state. That was a time when no other person would actually give an opposing opinion or view on that. The only group that was left to speak on behalf of other Kenyans was the university. We went to the streets protesting, and of course, as usual, we were beaten up by the police, and eventually the university was closed.
The freedom of speech is there now. You can speak your mind. You can demonstrate, although you get a bit of tear gas, but you can demonstrate. You see, for a long time, the politicians have taken advantage of the voters.
In my constituency, it was so ridiculous to have almost people from the same family, the tycoons, and some few guys deciding on the destiny of this man. It was so bad. They will simply squander money.
Our politicians especially will mobilize people, mainly from their ethnic groups, to vote as a bloc.
It's not ideology-based kind of politics which we are practicing in this country.
I was a student here in the 60s when we were young, and we were very strong supporters of Kenyatta. And I'm a Luo, and we were here with students, so we were fighting the Kalenjin.
Those smoldering differences between the Luo and the Kikuyu.
We are the people that put them where they are.
The Luos thought that when President Kenyatta took over, he gave a lot of resources to the Kikuyu.
They were imprisoned. They were in detention.
So that's the beginning of austerity.
The politics was being done by us to get them out.
And from that time up to now, the Luos felt that they were being given a raw deal.
Getting them out, then now they say you are the one. You know, that's bitterness. And it has been for 40 years now.
I would like to tell you, my brother.
In 2007, one will look at the competition for the presidency as pitting PNU, which was a party largely supported by the Kikuyus, for one reason, that Kibaki is a Kikuyu and was the presidential candidate.
The dictatorship was not there, but it was just the distribution of wealth, the unfairness, the positioning.
On the other hand, there was the ODM political party that was strongly supported by the Luos, largely because its presidential candidate was a Luo, who is Raila Odinga.
People who were with the Kikuyus now left them. So they joined, they said, you have been telling us for all this for a long time, but we never saw it. But now we are seeing it. And said, okay, if we are seeing it, let's get to power then. Because we cannot get to power alone.
One can look at the competition between PNU versus ODM as Kikuyus versus Luos, or if you like, the Kikuyus versus other tribes.
We have Kalenjins, we have Kikuyus, we have Luos.
In our area, we are cosmopolitan. We are harboring all other tribes in Kenya.
Before elections, they were scary. The rumors were that there will be war after the elections.
We coexisted nicely. We never had any quarrel with them at any given time. We had been walking in and out. I mean, we were like brothers and sisters.
People have not been living together as they used to be, especially when you talk about Kikuyu and also Kalenjins. In simple language, there are many wounds that have never been healed.
Mostly the lower Kada. You could find them in groups after work, just discussing, or maybe at lunchtime. But you couldn't actually see that line between them because we are a mix.
People having such a background, whenever they hear there will be war, people start shaking and fearing and become terrified.
Maybe when you're born, you have the blood brother. And at times as you grow up and you're getting to church, you also converted to a Christian, you are more cleaner. The rituals in you have been gotten out of you. You can now interact with anybody without less considering these cultures that we so have. I was his closest associate, where my children go to fetch milk to his quarters. Because for one, he has so many animals compared to the only single animal that I have.
I loved him in the past. Yeah. There was even time he lost his animals. Yeah. And I went all that way towards those forests to get the animal to help him. Yeah. That was the life we used to lead here.
We were being singled out as a tribe, that we have been in power for a very long time. And the only way to get into power was them merging together and eradicating us from power. You are advancing. It appears as though just because we have been in power, when I happened to welcome one to my own quarters, and he may see me having put this sort of a structure, have I been well placed in a financial department? One that associates me with one who may be looting.
The Luos and the Kikuyus were times buddies. Yeah. But they were times different principles. And the way we are getting it is that the colleges were using the Luos because they are good talkers. Allow me this, what do you call this word, where one appears to be talking that sweet. Let me say.
No, you are not bringing the issue of the Luo out properly.
The Kalenjins wanted land, and indirectly also wanted power. But the only way to rise to power is using a foreigner, who is this Luo, a Luo who, the Luo who talks, the Luo who is very convincing. Allow me use that word, convincing.
We wanted people to get land. Is it wrong for people to get land?
In 1992, I was very young then. I was around only 11 years. And when we had tribal clashes, we were running up and down. We hide ourselves in the tea plantations for 2 days. The cause of that violence, we couldn't understand because we were kids. So we said that we need to put an end to this kind of behavior. Some of the people simply come to vote because of influence of the higher class. If I am a common man in the village and somebody comes home with a very heavy vehicle, I will simply try to take his point of view. When we had our general elections, I was part of a team. So we held several campaigns around the country, teaching people the importance of voting wisely. You see, shunning tribal politics, they have high expectations in your understanding. Question like, which direction do we vote? Basically, we felt like we need to teach our people so that when they go voting, they vote based on issues.
When they go out in the villages and they talk, people will listen to them because they are perceived as educated, highly educated people. Sociologically, they become agents of change. So as we were gearing to the 2007 elections, and particularly the presidential election, the competition was very stiff between PNU and ODM. The media houses kept informing Kenyans. At some point, even giving us the tally of who is likely to win.
Campaigns here were very smooth. It's just like they knew their president who was to be. And they were confident that we must win this election. National intelligence security. They had gone round. I normally meet those people. They are some of my friends. We discuss issues. Sometimes when we meet in Nairobi, we talk free because they know me very well for a long time. So they said, we have done our research. We have done our information. They told me, my friend, be prepared because this election is not going to be the same of the previous years. That's where the problem came. Because the ODM people knew very well that, truly speaking, the ballot papers will win. The other side of the coin, They are saying we are there. Whether you win or you don't, we will be there.
We have the offsprings of the Mau Mau. But do I now look a Mau Mau? I went to school. I don't admire what was actually done in the past. My interaction with the friends made me understand many things. Is in that farm, it was so dear to me. He told me at one time that this time round, if Kibaki makes it, I'm sure we'll know Kikuyus are men. Then I asked him, what is in his talk? He told me, forget it. When he insisted wanting to know, he put me off from the subject. But I was happy that maybe he was toxic. I mean, he was to be drunk. And then he came to learn that he should not have highlighted that to me.
I was here in my home, where you saw me.
Yeah.
I remember it was on a Sunday.
Yeah.
I happened to have been from church, to church,
Yeah.
and during the church, we realized I went to a colleague.
Yeah.
And from a colleague, we happened to have gotten a TV where the news were being read, and happened to have seen Kibaki as emerging to power. That very night here, I, who was a neighbor to them, would not actually collected a milk from them. I used to fetch milk from them. But that evening was not the evening that I ever knew.
My own polling station, we had around 700 votes. So we demanded from the presiding officer to be counting like ODM, PNU, ODM, PNU, this side and this side at the same time. So we never slept for the whole night.
The day after voting, I traveled home. The people there I met, everybody was now expectant. They knew the change they wanted is coming. And at the beginning of 28th, the results started trickling in. So they were being announced. And people were like, now we have made it.
And then we have Otoma Paul of ODM with 15,940. 15,940.
In the whole country, people knew that ODM had won the election. In fact, my friend, who was a very strong PNU supporter, was a supporter of the other party. Basically, we've grown up together. He called me home and told me, you guys have won, because me, I was supporting. So he told me, for once, now I believe you.
When the election, the results were coming in, they could see that they are losing.
People will simply take down those details, and then we wait for the radio station and the televisions to announce. But then, when it reached KICC, we got different results. They took the returning officer from Molo to simply tell the ECK chairman, look here, you are simply announcing wrong results.
And then come 29th, and there was a blackout.
Why is it being delayed that much? Which is normally not the case. From previous elections, it had never been delayed that much.
And because this delay is unacceptable.
There's something fishy going on, and maybe there will be manipulation. People had started suspecting there's something wrong.
We were watching the TV.
The Electoral Commission of Kenya certifies that the candidate who has been duly elected the President of the Republic of Kenya.
Certainly,
of Section 5 of the Constitution,
President Kibaki was declared the winner.
They held on 27th December.
People shouted no.
Within a bracket of 5 to 10 minutes.
We were just here, we started hearing screams and seeing everywhere on smoke. Then we knew that all hell had broken loose.
The feeling of the people was like, we have been robbed of our victory.
People moving up and down.
We ran up and down, ran up and down.
Up and down.
Immediately, it took a tribal dimension. Kikuyu have rigged the election.
That division between the ethnic groups.
Some people are saying, oh, we would rather die than go through another fight.
When the people were celebrating, they were also celebrating in an abusive way.
The people were so mad and say, these guys, you will pay it dearly.
I now call on the Lord Chief Justice.
Where the situation became even more worse was during the swearing in of the president.
Over the last 24 hours, we have had skirmishes in different parts of the country and in Nairobi also.
I will say that the violence was planned. It was simply like it was being built up.
We are not saying that it's because of announcing of the results. Because people are prepared with the rungus and what have you, and they were ready to fight.
They are many in number. Laying out you and I is faster than absorbing you here.
The Kalenjins were beating them. We were actually never prepared for anything. The Kalenjins insisted that they should get out. Yeah. Their houses were being torched. We have less families here who will never see their own parents again.
Kalenjins, they will never show you that they have any ill feeling against you.
Most of the people were not killed. They were only flushed out because our culture does not allow killing.
Before 2007, I was their pastor. They didn't tell me that there will be war.
These are your friends. No, he's just staring at you as if he's trying to demand to know why. Why me?
We could not acquire not even a glass of milk to his quarters because he vanished from his home place and went to a neighboring home where they encroached themselves with his dear friends to reign against us.
I was to call them friends or brothers. Till that last day when I saw the friend telling you, this very time, you know, as a Christian, you say a brother. You now tell you, this is not the time to call me a brother. What you're not going to receive is that one. With an arrow.
Let me tell you, my brother, whoever who is saying that it just erupted, I don't believe he is saying the truth of the matter.
If he wins, whether it's rigging or not, but as long as he comes back, it was planned that there'll be chaos.
The Kalenjins killed Kikuyus more because they were actually prepared. They had actually been prepared for it. These were warriors. Yeah. Really, warriors who had been trained to come and let's say mug us properly.
Fighters, they surrounded the area. Houses were burned down. People were killed. Attack. A well-organized war. A very strategized way of fighting.
Whatever I saw in my own eyes, we had the youths, not really by their wish, but they could not go beyond primary education. So these guys, they are a bit hopeless, so they will simply gang up. I saw a lot of smoke coming out from those houses. Well, I went with my brother, and then we went, and then we hid ourselves in the tea bush, then to see what was really happening, because you couldn't tell if those who are burning these houses were the people from your community or the other community. Also, we listen very much because you will hear some people shouting, and they had a very different way of shouting. And then we rush and say, now look here, is there something happening over here? Then when we reached there, they told us, look here, you guys, you go away, we are doing our work. Then we told them, who has paid you to do this work? We say, you go away, we will beat you up again. You will hear these guys telling you all those stories like, you know what, yesterday we had a real fight. Another fellow also, he wanted to escape. And then he was rounded up and they opened the pit latrine. And then he was just forced to, he was deep inside the pit latrine. They covered it up and the guy died inside. I could not simply comprehend what was simply happening because it was like fiction stories. And one of the young boys, in fact he himself, he confessed. He said, you know what, this guy, Bana, he has a very hard skull because he could cut it like with the panga on his head, and then the panga refused to come off. Then he seemed to say, when it came off, it was whitish. It was a brain. Then in the evening you walk around, so that you get what is also happening within your neighborhood. You do not update yourself, then you might be in for trouble. This guy may be planning to cut your neck the same day. A very old man, he wanted to rescue himself, like he was climbing on the fence. If you've ever seen somebody being killed, the way the activity actually goes on, like, see, this is somebody good, the health is good, then all of a sudden, with no apparent reason, this young boy who had covered himself with white clay, you wouldn't tell this is a human being. And then the old man was simply trying to salvage himself. So these guys came with the axe, and then he cut the old man on his waist. The legs came down, and then the hands remained because he had already climbed. He was almost to the other side. He's just coming down like in bits. And then I told my brother, look here, my guy, it is getting too much, and I don't think I can stand this anymore. I think there's something wrong with what is happening here.
People felt if we don't organize, the government will not help us.
My mind is not set on retaliation, but I was meant to learn new knowledge. You see?
Where they were heavily populated, there was immense killing.
What did you do to save your family from being killed?
Ferrying my family away from my quarters and centering our families to a given place, and whereby we men were actually within the borders of our premises, but did not be in that house because you had the fear that these guys would come up to burn the house.
So you took your family
to a center.
We were left fewer in the village. We could now group ourselves to resist.
Did you have the old men helping you?
We had the elders.
The elders?
The elders are trying to advise us.
Okay,
that we were not to start off. We were not actually to go and attack. But not unless attacked.
There are rituals that you have to undergo. Because the moment you're in them, you know you have to go talking. Very friend that I so have is my tribe mate. You should not befriend a foreigner. Once one has taken the oath, he's become a changed person. Take the dog's blood mixed with the livestock blood. That very gentleman is never the same again. I'm not the Christian that you knew anymore. The Christian business is gone. It's now business as usual now. You can see my attire with a bow and arrow in my back or with a panga. You'll now wonder, oh brother in Christ, I will tell you, Paul, brother, this is action. And I think the best I'll now do to you, either hack you. You see now, it's not about that time.
As a Kikuyu myself, I'm actually still entrusted to my panga.
Oh, you had a panga?
I had a panga. The very panga that I use in cutting of my napier grass or fencing for my livestock. I'm actually never one who keeps arms. But for a Kalenjin, he assaults the weapons with him at all times. You would wonder who he keeps the arms from.
But he had an arrow. How do you reach him with an arrow?
Let me say, we were trying to safeguard ourselves. For us, it was with the time whereby we now thought it wise to have the arrows and the shield. You know what? With us adapting a system, once forced to get into it, we let's actually go to it. I am not used to that game.
When one carries a bow and arrow, and for you, who has a panga, will you compare the number and tell me that we can tarry? You'll have done more havoc to us than we'll have done to you. When my brother-in-law came and found the arrows that I had made, he sympathized with me and told me, my brother, you are going to die tomorrow.
I even have a family where I am. The mother, the father, the 3 sons were killed. That's never home anymore. When that sort of a thing happens, that leaves a family in tremor. That disturbs them.
Was he killed by the neighbors there, or
all the neighbors?
These fellows who came from far?
Those killed by those who came from far. Yes.
I remember even the stripped naked one lady in Defo. Stripped naked one lady. And then they killed her husband. Her seeing what is happening, then and all his clothes were thrown in the house, and the home was burned down. And the home was burned down. She went as she went as she came to this world. That lady.
How do you assist your enemy? Somebody who took your votes. So there was now tension between the churches and the community also. Christianity came down.
But this is not the brother time.
Like you can do anything you want. That's when you get the courage to face maybe these people and to fight them.
They were youths. They were carrying pangas. The driver stopped. And they said now if there's any other tribe here, we just want to finish with them because our people have been finished.
Come that time, when you are met, the only question one would be asked, who are you?
Now the Kalenjins or the other tribes I say were burning houses. The Kikuyus were also burning. We had the fear of being burned.
So it was a game of hide and seek.
So you couldn't even hear the presidential now election and what have you. Now it was land.
So the election was just the immediate trigger.
The Kalenjins were saying now the Kikuyus have come to take their land. Yeah. And the Kikuyus know we have bought this land that we are rightfully supposed to be here. You sold it to us.
So we were almost now becoming malnourished because we had no food. Most of the businesses in Eldoret are owned by Kikuyus and Kisis. We are a Kalenjin. The prices were put so high. They say now we are revenging because you defeated us in the fight. We are now facing you economically. I witnessed one who died. So the youth now, everybody was trying to give him a beating. Nobody was even to collect the body. He has been eaten by dogs. One of the boys took the skull, fixed it on a post, put it on the road.
Some people say that it was planned. But to me, as far as I know, the people who might have planned this chaos is the top officials.
Politicians are the mastermind of this problem in Kenya.
The Home Minister of Roads. Yeah. Allow me the word. Yes, he has been the Massaketeers from 1982.
Are you saying he incited this thing?
He was actually the patron to the activity.
For killing?
Funding. Youths who have actually no jobs with them.
Yeah.
and infiltrated for that very activity, being shown that that very Kikuyu has always been an enemy too. When you're empty stomach, and somebody fills your stomach, and they pays you whatever he pays you.
So when you see the youth running around, they are not running around because they have the land or political issues, but they are paying what they have been paid to do. If you cut a year of somebody dead, that is a strategy utilized in evacuating some of the fellows. Before this is done, you are caught somewhere and you are told where to go and get your money. But then there was somebody to monitor. You bring here, you get 10,000. You burn a house, 30,000. Some of the companies which are owned by foreigners, those are the fellows who give a lot of money, and they are trading here. That's the money which was used for them to tip the youth. So both of the parties are not clean. Now, there's a complication here.
It opens up other conflicts.
It is actually affecting me and you, not the government.
The pattern now changed.
We are looking at it's us versus the politicians now. Because them, they have everything. And us who were made to fight have nothing.
The youth now design a system of earning money.
There were many roadblocks that were put up by the Kikuyu youth. As people were driving towards Nairobi, even the Kikuyus, they would be stopped. The young boys would demand that they pay them tax.
Okay, they are idle, they don't have job, they are poor.
The boys have been used to stealing, they have been used to looting, they lacked what to loot. They come now to their own people.
They had been mobilized and they have the energy to fight. And now they have fought the enemy. And they have chased the enemy away. Who is the next enemy? And the next enemy now is not another youth, because they are all now from the same tribe. The next enemy they can see is a rich guy. He's living comfortably and driving while I'm walking and perhaps staffing. So since I have already cleared the enemy for them, for the entire tribe, they also owe me something. And the rich people start leaving the village. They become the next target. And if you don't give them willingly during the day, they'll come at night. People started realizing that you are in deeper trouble than they had thought. In your own village, you also did not feel safe because you are surrounded by people who are poorer and they would come for what you own.
There was an askari of their tribe who was in the attire. He was lower. You know, these are guys who are fat and who are not good to practice. But the slim ones are as fast as nobody.
I witnessed that very one who was actually hit by an arrow, and due to anger, the neighbors had home structures burnt. Yeah. And because he proved difficult, people had really to work on him and cut him to prove that this gentleman dies. Because a king does not believe that you are dead, not unless he uses a panga on you.
People really wanted Kofi Annan to come and resolve this issue.
It's not an easy journey, but
when the mediation talks started, people said, now look here, we need to reconcile. In fact, these guys who are fighting, they will simply say, we feel it now, it is too bad.
The politicians who are just going to keep preaching hate.
During the mediation talks, Raila will say, I will not shake hands with Kibaki. Kibaki is a thief. So how do you expect the common man to be thinking in his mind?
We are confident that the issues can be resolved within a year, and the immediate political issues be resolved, what we are describing as short-term issues, be resolved within 4 weeks.
Then when Kofi Annan said we have a deal,
We stand today at the crossroads of
will
history.
from now henceforth implement stern measures against those
And they
who
declared
attempt
officially that we have shared
disrupt
power.
the peace
And then you see Raila was
or
told,
use
can you greet
violence.
your friend Kibaki? When they shook hands like this.
For them to come together, I think that was a very important thing. Since they came together, now who are you?
When we were in class, my dear friends from the Kikuyu community were simply telling me, you guys, you are murderers from Rift Valley. And me, I never fought anybody. So I told them, it's okay, let me be a murderer. By the end of the day, I know I'm your friend.
I had so many friends from Kikuyu, they cannot trust you anymore. As much as you explain, please, they say, no, but you killed us.
You as my brother, you tell me that I can't still trust them wholeheartedly. That even I can walk as a pastor without any fears. Our people will forgive, but they will not forget.
Yeah. This is a neighbor that I was been with.
Yeah.
A neighbor that I had taken as a brother.
Yeah.
And on many occasions, I would also be I was actually for his help. How do you feel? You are not able to stay safer.
Yeah.
Because your barrier has now been broken. And ever since then, ever since this occasion,
Yeah.
I have always a very low opinion on him.
Yeah.
I have always fear. He instilled fear in me because I had never seen somebody carry a bow and arrow towards that other person.
This man you helped to retrieve his cows from the forest. If you see him these days, you are scared.
Yes.
How are you going to be, if he did you harm, how are you going to be taken to live close to each other again?
Don't even ask that one. Yes.
You go to judge yourself.
Yeah, I do.
And you say forgive and forget.
Yes.
Why are you not forgetting this man? He did not even do very serious thing, but
I'm usually an example to those who actually were victims to it seriously.
Yeah.
Because I've always actually wondered, if ever I ever lost a family, how would I have felt? We now proceed. You know this is now our farm. Sorry, I didn't tell you. We are already at home now. The Kalenjin farm. We are mixed up here. The structures tell you who are who. That's how we understand it. Slowly you go. Let's pass the road here. Do you see where we are now? These are our neighbors. We are here. Hapa. Proceed a little bit, and you can view my home at that height there. Karibu. Here, those are the animals. That's where we go to. The much that I have done here was actually to struggle to make an end meet. Not many people that actually believed that this piece of land of mine would have grown a crop. Kariatia, karibu mama. When shall we ever know that we have no friends? But it's usually too late. We heard how much that has beaten up the Kuyus and raping the mamas. Never sleep in the house. Always spend out. Why don't I show you my bedroom within the odd times? This is my hide door. Come, you see these stones here? This is where you sleep. You see fires on those hills. Those were people's homes being burned. I told my wife, if we have to die, you people proceed where you usually go. We have to remain where? Here. They were wishing to come to join hands and strike on us. They were not able to reach here.
What's the name of your neighbor?
My neighbor, Thomas Mutai.
My name is Thomas Mutai. This is my home. I've been here for almost 10 years. It's always election time when these things happen. We are normally living together. There's no any fighting against these people. We are mixed. So when I came to this place, you find people having different talents. You see there is various ideas people are having. But home area, where I was born, such interaction we don't have.
As for him with that big piece of land, and able to put up the many crops that he was able to put.
So many people are expecting something positive. The way they were handling the whole election process. People were suspicious what was happening. There was something vicious about it. Manipulation of results. They were angry because of these results. No. We start fighting.
View are the animals that you're viewing there, while I have one animal.
So it was almost everywhere. The violence was not planned. It was almost 3 months. It was a long time.
I think you at times never know how much you assist a friend, isn't it? You may view the planting system. Look at that pattern that is used. Within the past, he would let us grow his maize against the terraces. I advised him that not, and I always advised him plant along a terrace to hold on soil.
These are Kikuyus. These are my neighbors. Wanaina. So I have a lot of knowledge.
When he called me here on phone, and I wasn't here, I was down at the far end of the shamba. You know, my daughters, they were viewing the results of the polls. So they were happy shouting. You know, at times our daughters shout. So he rang here wanting to know, what's wrong with the daughters? They're happy shouting. I just notified, Tom, have you not heard Kibaki has been appointed? I think after that one, my friend, he put off the phone. We didn't talk anything much. You know, the mother, who is elderly, flashes back at my earlier reputation with them. She treasures that. She remembers when she came and they came here, the love I had for them.
Sasa tunajaribu.
I, as your neighbor, may not lay conflict of what actually cropped up. There's much that people do together.
It was a short time, that period when SCOAN became with our relationship. Wanaina. Yeah. We are friends.
Well, may I say that past, which was actually a history to us, a repeat of the same at times, may not now be a solution. So Tom, we politicking. Yes, as usual. Learning is a continuous process. I'm here for full blast, my friend. I don't feel as wanting to leave this place. Let me see the last timber being fired.
Yeah. And you know, the world is now changing. We are going not from tribes to color. This anybody who can lead.
Whoever comes here wanting water just tells me, Mzee, let me get some 2-3 lines, 2-3 pipes to my house. I'll pay you later. One views you as a tycoon. And I thank God because when you boost him, morally also God does the same. And I've seen wonders.
Nobody will come from outside to make this country a peaceful country. It is us. And we need to realize that we need each other. We are Kenyans.